Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share how I learned English, which helped me to get a job with one of the best international airlines. Obviously, English is my first language, but the reason why I speak in English is because I thought it's a good reference for you guys to observe the way I speak in English overall. I'm not even joking, I couldn't speak English until I was 21, which is international age 19. My mom still cannot believe that I actually do speak in English. Sometimes she asks me like, can you just pretend that I'm your passenger and speak to me in English? So I'd like to share 3 things that I learned about how to study English. Firstly, find your motivation. Secondly, find a learning method that works best for you. Finally, break down the barrier. Okay, let's get started. First, motivation. I know it's gonna sound a bit cliche, but it's really important to mention this point. Honestly, if you look into it, there are so many resources out there to help you to learn English. For instance, when you meet non-Korean person who can speak Korean fluently, often they're the people who like listening to K-pop music or watching K-dramas.
제가 달라스에서 왔어요. 대학생거든요. 그리고 제가 한국말 잘해요.
And they learn a lot because of it. Another example would be people who use their interest in anime to more easily learn Japanese. In my case, I used to listen a lot of R&B rap music from United States, and obviously I wanted to look up the lyrics, although it wasn't always age appropriate for a teen.
I know that's right!
Finding your own personalized learning method. I'll say that for me, shadowing is the best way to keep up on languages. Simply put, speaking English is like speaking Korean for me, since I grew up speaking Korean as my first language. However, one day I was just thinking about the process a child goes through to learn their first language. As an infant, I just decided to adopt this method to help me learn English as an adult. So basically, it's dividing between input such as listening and reading and output such as speaking and writing. This is essentially what we all used to do in the course of learning our first language. I listen a lot of English podcasts, American TV series, and pop music. Even now, I always follow this type of content that I can continue improving my English skills. I think one of the most important things you need to consider is that you don't have to make yourself feel pressured or uncomfortable. There are lots of fun listening material out there to help you improve your English skills. For instance, I used to enjoy watching a Disney Channel show called Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus breakout role. The reason why I chose this show was because it was made for teenagers, so obviously the show uses less complicated English when compared to an adult movie, Da Vinci Code. So when should I put subtitles? I think it really depends on the person, but in my case, I select Korean subtitle first so that I can understand what's being said. I then select English subtitles and then watch without subtitles. For the last step, I don't even watch, just listen. So this is my routine. I find the contents that I'm interested in. If I'm actually interested in the subject, then I definitely want to know more about it, right? So I'll keep listening or watching. First and foremost, just believe in yourself and the things that you're putting into your brain that won't just go away. When you do shadowing, try to close your eyes and feel when you listen to the English content. Feel where your tongue should be and how it should move to follow the intonation and tone. Focus on these things as you follow along when you're shadowing. It really works.
The goal is to copy that speaker so close. It's on that old thing, are you?
I was shadowing with this method every day before I actually went to school in America, and I made a habit out of it. I cannot always see the result in the short term, but eventually you'll find out, wow, I speak like an American. Since I grew up in Korea, I obviously didn't have any opportunity to speak in English when compared to someone who's living abroad. So I had to find other ways of practicing my verbal skills. I try to take any advantage of any opportunity that I could find. One example from back in my university days was to schedule times with English professors where I could discuss whatever topic that I want to talk about. Mostly we discussed culturally significant things that interested me, which helped me to be more focused on the conversation. Another opportunity that I found was an English phone call program. My dad introduced me to this, where I could have a phone conversation with a teacher in another country for 10 minutes on every weekday. 10 minutes doesn't really sound like it could be really helpful, but it actually is. I did that non-stop for 2 years, and I'm certain that it helped me out a lot. Even though the effect was subtle, it allowed me to feel more comfortably about having a conversation when I came to study in the US. So continuous exposure to English speaking or listening opportunities is the key point of my video today. Third, break down the wall. I remember the exact moment that I broke down the wall. It was one of my native English speaking friends asked me how to spell an English word. I was literally shocked. As I thought about that, I realized that it makes sense. For instance, I'm Korean, and when one of my non-Korean friends asked me the same question, I don't quite remember the right answers. This, of course, means nobody's perfect. Now that I live in Dubai, which is a very international city, I find that most everyone here has to speak in English. However, speaking honestly, I noticed that most people here, they have their own unique way to speak in English, which means you don't need to be perfect. Of course, it's nice to seek perfection, but please don't let them become an insurmountable wall that keeps you from speaking English just because you're afraid that you cannot reach to perfection. I'm not an English expert, but I think it's always nice to hear how other people experienced whatever journey you're considering embarking on. Thanks for watching. If you have more questions, please comment me. I'll try to reply as soon as possible. And Happy New Year!